Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Knowledge Hub. Friends, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. आज हम कंप्यूटर ग्राफिक्स की क्लास करने वाले हैं जो कि क्लास नंबर 12 है। इससे पहले जो 11 क्लासेस हैं उसमें हमने यूनिट 1 और यूनिट 2 एंड यूनिट 3 यूनिट 4 हमने डिटेल्ड में कंप्लीट कर लिया है। And other than that, we are dealing with the all short questions of all the units, that is of 2 marks possible questions, and that we are dealing. And we had, even though in that also we had completed unit 1 and unit 2, hopefully we'll complete it in this, and then hopefully we'll complete it unit 3 short possible questions as well. And that is in the same cases that we have to complete, because the application based and the evaluation based, and then after that we'll start with the unit 3, which will where we'll discuss about memory based questions and application based and evaluation based questions as well. So first of all, it's a huge request from my side to all the viewers, please go through with the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. Let's go ahead with the question, that is the last question of the application based questions of unit 2. That the question is, write a 2 cross true transformation matrix for the rotation and of counterclockwise of pi, and that I will go ahead with the question as well. So that write 2 cross true transformation matrix for rotation of counter clockwise by a pi about the origin. So here in this that what we have to discuss here, where the value for this we have is, that is your r equals to cos theta sin theta minus sin theta and cos theta, and where for the clockwise rotation where the theta is negative, and for that we have r equals to cos 180 degree sin 180 degree minus sin 180 degree and cos 180 degree, that we have minus 1 0 0 minus 1. That has been the answer here. Now we'll talk about the evaluation based questions that of unit 2 we have to complete it, and which is your evaluation based questions. So in the evaluation based questions here, the first question that has been arises here, and that is that it is the algorithm that which is based on binary search and the clipping category of the two line segment in these algorithm that can be determined by their region codes, and it is best suited for hardware implementation. You have to determine the algorithm. So the question is, I repeat it, that it is the algorithm which is based on binary search, the clipping category of the two line segments in this algorithm that can be determined by their region codes, and it is best suited for hardware implementation. You have to determine the algorithm. So the the answer would be the midpoint subdivision algorithm. The second question is, you have to identify the type of clipping operation that has been clipped, and the clipping window, and then after the clipping the remaining outside the window that has been clipped out, and the remaining inside the window that has been shown in the figure. So that for that as we had done in reference towards these many questions, so the answer would be your polygon clipping. The third question is of evaluation based, that is to identify the type of the vanishing point projection and for that we have given been the x1 is a plus d, that is of lx1, y1 equals to b and z1 equals to c, and where p2 is your x2 equals to a and y2 equals to b plus d by x2, and z2 is equals to c. So that the answer would for that we have is your 2 principal vanishing point projection. Now we'll go ahead with other question and with another unit, and that is the unit third. And the unit third we have is your 3-dimensional, which is of 2 marks. We'll talk about it each and every questions here as I told you about it. So unit third, 3-dimensional, we'll start with this and we had end up with that unit 2, and now we'll go ahead with the memory based questions. So that will go ahead, which is a memory based question. The first memory based question that they can ask you in the terms of 2 marks question. The question is, mention the names of the 3D object representation method. So the 3D object representation method we have. So 3D object representation method that we have are as follows, where we have 7 here and all, and that the first we have is your polygon surface. The second we have is your displaying curves and surfaces. The third we have is the sweep representation. The fourth we have is your hierarchical model. The fifth we have is your scene graph. The sixth we have is your octrays, and the seventh we have is your constructive solid geometry. Now we'll go ahead with other question, that is, what do you mean by geometric primitives? And in the geometric primitives we'll talk about it. So what do you mean by geometric primitives here? That the geometric primitives are the basic geometrical shape that is used to construct the computer graphic scenes and the resulting the final image here. And with reference towards this one, the other question has been arise, that name the commonly used 2D geometric primitives. So the commonly used 2D geometric primitives that we'll talk about it, and that the first we have is your points. The second we have line. The third is line segment. The fourth we have is your planes. The fifth we have is your circles. The sixth we have is your ellipse. These will comes under in it, the 2D one, and the seventh we have is your triangles. Now we'll talk about the other question, that is to discuss the 3D reflection. In the terms of the 3D reflection, if I'm talking about, so the 3D reflection, will they go ahead with detailed about it. 3D reflection. In 3D reflection, that is to discuss the 3D reflection, a 3-dimensional reflection that can be performed relative to a selective reflection axis or with respect to the selected reflection plane. Reflections relative to a given axis is equivalent to 180-degree rotation about that axis. The question we have, the another question that what we have to solve it out, which is to represent the reflection in a 3D that with respect to the xy plane and yz plane from the following equation. So the equation we have is p dash x dash y dash and z dash, and that is m dot p, which is x y z here. So for the reflection with respect towards the xy plane we'll do it, and then we'll do it for the reflection with reference towards the yz plane. So in reference towards the xy plane, if I'm talking about, so that we have, in that same cases we have p dash mxy and then p. So in the p dash we have x dash y dash z dash 1, and that is equals to 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 minus 1 0 and 0 0 0 1, and then we have p, that is your matrix x y z and 1. For the reflection with reference towards the yz plane, that we'll have to talk about it. In the yz plane, references towards it, so we have same p dash mx y, that is your yz here. So p dash myz and p here. So in the p dash we have x dash y dash z dash 1, that is equals to minus 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 0 1, with xy plane here that we have x y z and 1. Now we'll talk about the other question, and that is the another one, which is the other question that give the matrix representations of the rotation about x y z coordinate axis in a 3D transformation. So for that we have here, I repeat the question here, that give the matrix representation of the rotation about x y z coordinate axis in a 3D transformation. So we'll take about each and every one here, and that is in the reference towards it, which is your r z of theta is equals to cos theta minus sin theta 0 0, sin theta cos theta 0 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 0 1. Now the other we have is your, that is r x of theta, which is your 1 0 0 0 0 cos theta minus sin theta 0 0 sin theta cos theta 0 0 0 0 1. So that has been represented here. In the same cases, now we'll go ahead with other question, and that can be asked here, which is to describe the local scaling. So okay, r of z we had done, r of x we had done, r of y theta, that is equals to cos theta 0 sin theta 0 0 1 0 0 minus theta 0 cos theta 0 0 0 0 1. So now we'll go ahead to describe other question, which is to describe the local scaling. In local scaling, that it is the concept of scaling where the homogeneous factor where w is equals to 1 is known as local scaling, and the general form of the local scaling matrix is to be as follows, which is sx 0 0 0 0 sy 0 0, and then we have 0 0 sz 0 and 0 0 0 1. This is comes under known as local scaling. The other question is, what do you mean by the term overall scaling here? In overall scaling, we'll talk about it. So in an overall scaling, that the homogeneous factor has a value is greater than 1 or less than 1, along with sx, sy, z, that is equals to 1, and the rest of the matrix element are 0. And the overall scaling matrix we have 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 0 0.5. Now we'll talk about the other question, which is your tilting. Define tilting. In the tilting here, that the tilting is defined as the rotation about an x-axis followed by the rotation about the y-axis. The required transformation matrix is obtained by concatenating the two rotation matrix, and that has been represented in the form of T equals to R theta by J abstract R theta x dot I here. So that is been representing here. Now we'll understood about the another question, which is how can we determine the projected view of a object. So the projected view of an object, that what we have to talk about it. So in the terms of projected view of an object, that what we have to talk about it, which is that the projected view of an object is determined by calculating the interaction of the projection lines with the view plane. Now we'll talk about the types of projections here. So in the types of projection, there the first we have is your perspective projection. And the second we have is your parallel projection. Now we'll discuss the classification of parallel projection here. Classification of parallel projection, we have to do the first. The parallel projection are classified into the two types. That the first we have is orthographic. In orthographic, that in this the projections are perpendicular to the view plane. The second we have is your oblique. And oblique, in this that the projections are not perpendicular to the view plane. The other question has been arises that give the common subcategory of the orthographic projection here. So that we'll discuss here only. So the subcategory of orthographic projection. So we have here is this three. This is the first we have is your isometric. Second we have diametric, and the third we have is your trimetric. The other question has been arise is to give the common subcategory of the oblique projection as well. For the oblique projections we have a 2-1, and that is your the cabinet and of course the cavalier, which is for oblique projection. For that we have a 2, which is your cabinet. Second is your cavalier here. The other question we'll talk about it, which has been asked here only, and in the sum that is your what is your perspective projections here. So here what is perspective projection? In the terms of perspective projection, that for a perspective projection the object projections are transformed to a view plane along lines that converge to a point that called the project reference point. Now we'll talk about, write down the anomalies of perspective projections. So we'll talk about the anomalies. In the anomalies we have here that are the following anomalies of perspective projection. The first we have is your perspective foreshortening. The second we have is your vanishing point. The third we have is your view confusion. The fourth we have is your topological distortion. Now we'll talk about the other question, that is, write down the types of perspective projections here. The types of perspective projections here that we have here, the three here. The first we have one point perspective projection. The second is your 2-point perspective projection. Third we have is your 3-point perspective projection. I will talk about the other one, that is the define the term polygon meshes here. In the polygon meshes we'll talk about it. Polygon meshes. So in the polygon meshes, it is a collection of edge, vertices and polygon connected such that each edge is shared by almost 2 polygon, and there are the 3 polygon mesh representations here. The first we have explicit. The second we have is pointer to a vertex list, and the third we have is your pointers to an edge list. Now we'll talk about the other question, and that is, what are the operations to be performed on polygon mesh. So following operations that are to be performed on polygon mesh we have. The first is to finding the vertices connected by an edge. The second is that finding the edge of the polygon, and the third is to displaying the mesh, and the fourth is to identifying the errors in representations here. Now we will be going ahead with other question, and that's what we have to discuss here, which is your 3D clipping. In the 3D clipping, the clipping in a 3-dimensional that can be accomplished using the extensions of 2-dimensional clipping method. Instead of clipping against straight line window boundaries, we now clip object against the boundary planes of the view volume as well. Now the other question has been arise, like what are the two common 3-dimensional clipping volume, which are rectangular, parallel, piped as well. And that we have, the first we have here is your box. In the box, it is used for the parallel or axonometric projection. The second we have is your truncated pyramidal volume. In this, it is used for the perspective projections here. Now we'll talk about, describe the operations obtained by the that is the performing the general perspective operations. The operations are to be as follows, like the first operation we have, that make the center line of the frustum perpendicular to the view plane by sharing the view volume, and the second is that scale the view volume with a scaling factor that depends on 1 by z here. Now we'll discuss the other question, that is to define vanishing point. In the term of vanishing point, that what we have to talk about. So here we'll discuss about vanishing point. To define vanishing point here, that the projections of the line that are not parallel to the view plane appear to meet at some point on the view plane, and a common manifestation of this anomaly is the illusion that a railroad track meet at a point on the horizon as well. Now we'll talk about some of the questions that has been related to the fill in the blanks form, and that is also very important because it has been asked of 2 marks as well. The question is, front sight and a rear orthographic projections of an object are called dash. This is a question. So the answer for that, the that front sight and a rear orthographic projections of an object that are called is your elevation. That is, the answer is your elevation. The other question is that isometric, diametric and trimetric are the subcategories of dash projection. So the answer will be that the isometric, diametric and trimetric are the subcategory of that is orthographic projection. The other question is that the perspective projection is characterized by the center of projection and the dash here. So the answer is that the perspective projection is characterized by a center of projection and the view plane. The other question is dash defines the directions of projected lines. So dash defines the direction of projected lines. The answer is the projection vector defines the direction of projection line here. Now we'll go ahead with other question here. Other question is that a point in which a set is projected parallel lines that appear to converge is called as dash. So the answer is a point in which a set of projected parallel lines appear to converge is called vanishing point. The other question is that the parallel projection is characterized by the direction of projection and the normal to the dash. So the answer would be here, the parallel projection is characterized by the direction of projection and the normal to the view plane. The other question has been asked is, that is, dash is the point in the perspective projection where all line of projection converges. So the answer is the center of projection is the point in the perspective projection where all the lines of the projection converges. So the answer is center of projection. Now we'll go ahead with other question. Where projection lines are perpendicular to the view plane, such type of projection is called a dash. So the answer is orthographic. When projection lines are perpendicular to the view plane, such type of projection is called orthographic. The other question is that to establish the viewing coordinate reference frame, a world coordination position is picked up called dash. So the answer is a view reference point. The question, I repeat, to establish the viewing coordinate reference frame, a world coordinate position is picked up called, that is, view reference point. Then the question we have is dash is the smallest addressable point on the screen. So dash is the smallest addressable point on the screen. The answer is your pixel. Pixel is the smallest addressable point on the screen. The other question and the last question of memory based questions here, that is oblique projection is called a dash here. So the oblique projection is a parallel projection here. Now we'll go ahead with the application based questions here. So the first question of the session for the application based questions of unit 3rd that we have. The question is, write the three-dimensional homogeneous transformation matrix for scaling in x and y in 3 times here. So for that we have to represent it here. In that same cases, the answer would be, that is your, it is x dash, y dash, z dash 1 is equals to x, y, z 1, sx 0 0 0, sy 0 0 0 0 sz 0 and 0 0 0 1. So here that is your sx is equals to sy, which is equals to s3, and sz is equals to 1. So we'll place the value and then we'll find it out as well. So where in the same cases we'll be having x dash, y dash, z dash and 1 is equals to x, y, z and 1. That is equals to the matrix we have, which is 3 0 0 0 0 3 0 0 and 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 0 1. This is the answer of the question. I repeat it here, and that is the question is write the three-dimensional homogeneous transformation matrix by scaling x and y and of 3 times. So that has been represented. The other question is find the dimensional homogeneous matrix for rotating about x-axis by pi by 3. So the question I will write it down and for you, and then we'll be go ahead here. Find the three-dimensional homogeneous matrix for rotating, that is about x-axis by pi by 3. So that what we have to solve it out. So let's go ahead with the solutions here. So the solution for this question we have r pi by 3 equals to 1 0 0 0 0 cos theta sin theta 0 0 minus sin theta cos theta 0 and then 0 0 0 and 1. So here after that we'll put the value of these. So here in this, that is 1 0 0 0, that is your 0 0.5 0.866, that is of cosine theta, and then 0. Then after that we have a 0 minus 0.866, 0.5 and 0. Then we have 0 0 0 and 1. So now we'll go ahead with other question that we have here, that we have to solve it out as well, which is the other question, and that we have find the tilting matrix as a rotation about x-axis followed by a rotation about y-axis. So in this the question that will solve it out. So here t equals to rx and ry, that we know very well. So we'll implement that. So the rx we have, which is 1 0 0 0, that is 0 cos theta x sin theta x and 0. Then we have 0 minus sin theta x cos theta x and 0. Then we have 0 0 0 1. Okay, so for that the r that we have here is your ry, that is your cos theta y, 0 minus sin theta y and then 0 0 1 0 0 sin theta y, 0 cos theta y, 0 and 0 0 0 1. And when we'll find it out this, what we'll get is, that is your cos theta y 0 minus sin theta y 0. The second row will find out sin theta x and sin theta y, and the second is your cos theta y. The other we have sin theta x and cos theta y, then we have 0. The third row we have is your cos theta x sin theta y, then minus sin theta x, then we have cos theta x and cos theta y, then 0. we have 0 0 and 0 and 1. So this is a matrix that what we'll find it out. Let's go ahead with other question that what we have here. Now the other question has been arise like find the transformation for Cavalier projection with theta 45. So find the transformation for Cavalier projection with theta equals to 45 degree. So here we have, which is your f equals to 1 and theta equals to 45 degree. So here that is because we have 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 0 0 and 0 0 0 1. This with the matrix here. Now we'll go ahead with other question, which is find the perspective projection into the view plane the z equals to d and where the center of the projection is the origin. So for that what we have to solve it out. So let's go ahead. The question is find the perspective projection into the view plane where z equals to d, where the center of projection is the origin. So for that we have that the plane z equals to d is a parallel to the xy plane, thus the view plane normal vector n is the same as the normal vector k in the xy plane, that is equals to k. So for that we have n1 n2 n3 equals to 0 0 1, which is your r naught is equals to x naught y naught and z naught, which is equals to, even though that is equals to 0 0 d. So the d naught equals to n1 x naught plus n2 y naught plus n3 z naught, and which is equals to 0 0.0 plus 0 0.0 plus 1 d here, and that is equals to d here. So that is the projection matrix we have k comma r, that is equals to d 0 0 0 0 d 0 0 0 0 d 1 0 0 1 0. Now we'll go ahead with other question that what we have to solve it out. And the other question we have is find the equation of the plane using intercept form when a mirror is placed vertically such that it passes through the point 10 0 and 0 10. So that we have to solve it out here. Let's go ahead that. So here we have question that is find the equation of the plane using intercept form when a mirror is placed vertically such that it passes through the point that is your 10 0 and 0 10. So here the intercept of x-axis we have, that is intercept at x-axis we have 10, intercept at y-axis we have 10, and as you can see here, and intercept on z-axis we have an infinite. So the equation of the plane that using the intercept form that will be find it out in the form of, which is your x by 10 plus y by 10, that is equals to 1, and x by 10 plus y by 10 minus 1, that is equals to 0. So this is an equation of the plane that using the intercept form that we'll find it out. Let's go ahead with other question, that is the another and the last question of the application based questions of unit a third that we have, and that the question is to be as follows. That is, determine the normal vector when a mirror is vertically placed through its passing point 2, 0 and 0, 2 here. So in this, that is the equation of the plane that using the intercept form that can be given in the form of, which is we have is your x by 10 plus y by 10 plus 1. The normal vector that we have is your 1 by 10 I plus 1 by 10 j, and the coordinate we will be finding out is 1 upon 10, 1 upon 10 and 0. That is the right answer. Now we'll go ahead with other one, and that what we have to discuss the another question which is based on evaluation based questions of unit third here, which is evaluation based questions. In the evaluation based questions, that what we'll talk about it, in this type of a question you have to evaluate that particular question while solving it out here. So the first question for the evaluation based questions, we have that the projected image of a plane under the standard perspective is given. You have to find that point. So with that we have a first point, that is your z equals to minus zc here. The other question is we have in the terms, that is it takes place when the vanishing point places uncertainty placed centrally within the figure, and because of the particular positioning of the object in the coordinate axis, that is the depth answer in it are not very obvious. Determine the spatial form of one point perspective projection here. So I repeat the question here. It takes place when the vanishing point places centrally within the figure, and because of the particular positioning of the object in the coordinate axis. The depth answer in it are that not very obvious, and to determine the spatial form of the one point perspective projection, we have the answer is your, that is your tunnel perspective. So the answer is tunnel perspective. The other question is that whenever the picture contains objects and surfaces, those are closer to the eye and the line of the sight of other object will block those objects from view. Identify the name of the blocked and removed surfaces process as well. So repeat the question here, that whenever the picture contains object and surfaces, those are closer to the eye and is then the line of the sight of the other object, that will block other object from view, and identify the name of the blocked and removed surface process, and that is the answer is your hidden surface removal. The other question we have a consider the following, that you have a view plane normal and a view plane as well, and that to identify the type of the parallel projection, and that the parallel projection we have is in the form of oblique projection. Now we'll go ahead with other one, that is another question here, and that is the question is that predict the phenomena. So the predict the phenomena, you have to predict the phenomena here, that the coordinate positions are transformed to the view plane along the parallel lines. It preserves the relative proportions of object. It is a method used in drafting to produce scale drawing of 3D objects, that you have to find it out. So repeat the question, that it preserves relative proportions of object, and it is the method used in drafting to produce the scale drawing of 3D object. The answer is your parallel projection. Now we'll have another one, that is to consider the bit color here. The bit 1 is 1 equals to 1 if x is less than x min. Bit 2 is equals to 1 if x is greater than x max. Bit 3 is equals to 1 if y is less than y min, and if bit 4 is equals to 1 if y is greater than y max, and bit 5 is equals to 1 if z is equals to z min, z is less than z min, and if bit 6 is equals to 1 if z is greater than z max. So determine the clipping algorithm here. So the clipping algorithm here, that the 3D line clipping algorithm for the Cohen Sutherland region code method here. So the answer we have, which is 3D line clipping algorithm for Cohen Sutherland region code method. The other question is to predict what type of projection that to be shown, that is of degree 45, and then it will change, and that alpha is changing, and that has been becoming 30. So that what we have to find it out, and with regard of it, the answer would be the cabinet projections of the unit here. Cabinet projection of the unit Q. Now we'll go ahead with other unit that we had completed the unit 3rd. We'll start with the unit 4 here, which is unit 4 is the curves and surfaces. We'll talk about the 2 marks possible questions here. Unit 4, which is curves and surfaces, and that is we'll discuss about the first, which is your memory based questions. So that will be discussed here. So in this, the memory based question, the first question has been arised here, and which is to define the quadric surface here. Define quadric surfaces. So here that they are most commonly used class of object. They are ease of computing the surface normal, and ease of testing whether a point is on the surfaces, ease of calculating intersections of one surface with other. The other question has been arise, name the different quadric surfaces. Different quadric surfaces we have. The first we have is your ellipsoid. The second we have here is elliptic parabolic. The third we have hyperbolic parabolic. And the fourth we have is your double cone. So the different quadric surfaces we have, the first is your ellipsoid, elliptic parabolic, hyperbolic parabolic, and a double cone here. Now we'll talk about the another question, that is what are blobby objects. So in the blobby objects here, that what are blobby objects in terms of it, that the object that do not have a fixed shape and change their surfaces characteristics in a certain motion, or when they are proximity to the other object, that is known as a blobby object. I repeat it, that the object that do not have a fixed shape and change their surfaces characteristics in a certain motions, or when they are in a proximity to the other objects here. The other question has been arise to describe the spline curve. In the spline curve, that describe spline curve here, that a spline is a flexible strip that is used to produce a smooth curve through a designated set of points, and a spline is any composite curve with polynomial section that satisfying some specified continuity condition. And in the same cases, the other question has been arise is how can we specify a spline curve here, that to specify a spline curve, we can specify a spline curve by doing a set of coordinate positions that called control points and which indicate the general shape of the curve as well. The other question is that how many parametric continuity conditions are in a spline representation. So we'll talk about the parametric continuity. So parametric continuity, we have three here. The first we have is that is zero order parametric continuity. The second we have is your first order parametric continuity, and the third we have is your second order parametric continuity. Now we'll talk about the other question, that write down the properties of Bézier's curve. So the properties of the Bézier curves we have, and that is, the first property is it also passes through the first and the last point. It lies within the convex hull of the control point, and the sum of all the Bézier's blending function is equals to 1 here. The other question has been arise, write down the two properties of B-spline curve. So here the two properties are that the polynomial curve has a degree of d minus 1 and c e to power d minus 2 continuity over the range of 4, and for the n plus 1 control point, that the curve is described with n plus 1 blending functions as well. The other question we have, what are the advantages of B-spline curve over Bézier's curve? So the advantages of B-spline curve over the Bézier's curve, we have that the first advantage is that the degree of the B-spline polynomial that can be set independently of the number of the control points, and the second is that B-spline allows local control over the shape of the spline curve or surface as well. The other question we'll talk about it, which is what is determined by the hidden line or a hidden surface. So what do you understand by determined by the hidden line? Or hidden surface. So in this, that hidden line and a hidden surface here, that it determines the line, edges, surfaces or volume that are visible or invisible to an observer located at a specific point in space here. Now we'll go ahead with other question, that is to mention the two approaches which determine whether the hidden surface algorithm deals with the object definition directly with the projected image. So that we have two. First is your object space method. The second we have is your image space method. Now we'll talk about the other question that has been arise. Give the advantages of Z buffer algorithm. So we have a three advantages of Z buffer algorithm. The first is it is easy to implement. The second, it can be implemented in hardware to overcome the speed problem. And that third advantages of the Z buffer algorithm, that the total number of the polygon in a picture that can be a large here. The other question is what are the various backface detection algorithm. So that we'll talk about it. So various backface detection algorithm we have. The first we have is your backface detection method. The second we have is your depth buffer method. The third we have A buffer method. And the fourth we have is your scanline method. Now we'll talk about the another question here, that is the another one, which is mention the name of the basic illumination model. So basic illumination model. Basic illumination models we have, that is the first we have is your ambient light. The second we have is your diffuse reflection. The third we have specular reflection. The fourth we have Phong model. The fifth we have is combined approach. And the sixth we have Vaughan model. The seventh we have is your intensity attenuation. The eighth we have is your color consideration. The ninth we have is your transparency. And the 10th we have shadow. So these were the basic illumination models here. I repeated here, that is your ambient light, diffuse reflection, specular reflection, Phong model, combined approach, Vaughan model, intensity attenuation, color concentration, transparency, and shadow here. Now we'll talk about here in the another one, that is to describe the diffuse illumination here. So here we'll discuss about diffuse illumination. Diffuse illumination, so that we'll discuss here. So in the talking about diffuse illumination, that an object that may be illuminated by a light which does not come from any particular source but which comes from all directions, and such illumination is uniform from all directions, the illumination is called diffuse illumination. The other question has been asked is, what do you understand by the coefficient of reflection? So the coefficient of reflection, we'll talk about it here. In the coefficient of reflection, that the ratio of the light reflected from the surface to the total incoming light to the surface is called coefficient of reflection here. The other question is, write an expression for the brightness of an object illuminated by a diffuse ambient, which is the I ambient, that difference is equals to Kala, and where the IA, that is in the intensity of the ambient light or the background light, and Ka, that is the ambient reflection coefficient, and that Ia, which is your intensity diffuse reflection at any point of the surfaces or here. The other question is, write the note on a specular refraction. So specular reflection here, that the phenomena of the reflection of incident light in a concatenated concentrated region that around the specular reflection angle, that is called specular reflection here. Now we'll go ahead with the other question, which is write an equation for the Phong reflection model. And a Phong reflection model, we know very well that the I spec is equals to that W theta I1 cos theta. I will just write it on for that. Phong reflection model, so that we have I spec equals to W theta I1 cos n phi. So here where the I here is the intensity of the light source and the phi is the angle between the viewing vector and specular refraction vector R here. Now we'll talk about the other one, that is what is the halfway vector. The halfway vector, in the terms of it, that is the halfway vector means that the direction is the halfway between the directions of the light source and the viewer as well. Next we'll talk about give the combined diffusion specular reflection from any point and on illuminated surface for the single point light source that we have, which is I equals to I diffuse plus I spec, which is equals to Kala plus K D I N L plus K N N N NH power n. So on which the coefficient of the transparency depends. So the coefficient of the transparency depends on the thickness of the object, because the transmission of the light depends exponentially on the distance which the light ray must travel within the object. The other question is to define shadow. So define shadow. Here a shadow object is one which is hidden from the light source, and it is possible to use hidden surface algorithm to locate the areas where light source produces the shadow here. Now we'll talk about the 2 marks possible questions of unit 4, which is your Lambert's law. Lambert's law. So here that is give Lambert's law here. In the Lambert's law, that states that the reflection of light from a perfectly diffusing surfaces varies as a cosine of the angle between the normal to the surfaces and the direction of the reflected ray as well. Now we'll go ahead with the questions that are in the detail of the fill in the blanks forms, and that the first question of the session for that way we have, and that is, in the same case, that the total number of objects that can be handled by a Z-buffer algorithm is dash. So in that, the total number of objects that can be handled by Z-buffer algorithm is, the answer is your arbitrary. The other question is that align with endpoint code as 0000 and 0100 is dash. So align with endpoint codes as 000 and 0100, that is your partially invisible. The other question is dash algorithm finds the largest depth value of Z. So here that is dash algorithm that finds the largest value of depth Z, that is your Z buffer. The another question is a fast method for rendering an object with polygon surface is dash. So a fast method for rendering an object with polygon surface is, the answer is your flat shading. The other one is dash shading is an interpolative shading method. So the answer is Gouraud. Gouraud shading is an interpolative shading method here. The other one, the technique of using a minimum number of intensity levels to obtain increased visual resolution is dash. So the technique of using a minimum number of intensity level to obtain increased visual resolution is, the answer is half toning. The other question, depth field and intensity field are the fields of dash. So the depth field and intensity field are the fields of A buffer. The answer is A buffer. The other question, a scanline method of hidden surface removal is the another approach of dash. So the answer is image space method. The scanline method of hidden surface removal is another approach of image space method. The other question is, the angle phi between the vector r and a vector v is called dash angle. So the angle phi between the vector r and the vector v is called viewing angle. So the answer is viewing here. The other question, the interpolation curve is mathematical representation of dash. So the interpolation curve is a mathematical representation of, the answer is ellipsoid. The next question, a spline curve is specified by giving a set of coordinate positions called dash. The answer is control points. A spline curve is specified by giving a set of coordinate position called control points. The other question, the blending function of Bézier's curves are dash. So the blending functions of Bézier curve are, the answer is Bernstein polynomial. So the blending functions of the Bézier curves are Bernstein polynomial. The another question, the last question in reference towards the memory based question here, which is the dash indicates the general shape of the curve. So the dash indicates the general shape of the curve. The answer is a spline. So a spline indicates the general shape of the curve here. Now we'll go ahead with the other question, that is the other question is on the form of the application based question here, which is to be as follows. In the application based question, the first question illustrate a diagrammatically illumination model. So you can illuminate like light source, you can show the view plane as well, and with the theta, that with the normal, the same normal theta we have, so that can be represented here. In the same cases, the other question is for reference towards the application based questions of unit 4, that what we have to discuss here, and which is in the form of that what we have. The question I write it down for you so that you will get it. First I will tell you about it. Show that the two curves n of t, that is equals to t square plus 2t minus 2, equal and then other is t square, and then r of t is your t square 2t plus 1 and t plus 1 that are both of c power 0 and g power 0 that continues with a join of n of 1 which is equals to r of 0 here. So that what we have to solve it out. Let's go ahead with the question here. Show that two curves nt equals to t square plus 2t minus 2t square, then r of t equals to t square plus 2t plus 1, then t plus 1 are both c0 and g0 continues where they join at n of 1 equals to r of 0. So that what we'll have to find it out, the solution here. The solution for this we have that is the nt that they had represented you here, that is nt is equals to t square plus 2t minus 2 and then t square, then rt we have is your t square 2t plus 1 and t plus 1, and the n of 1 is that is equals to that I will write it down here, n of 1 equals to 1 square plus 2 minus 2 and 1 square here. So that is the zero order geometric continuity described by the G0 continuity is 1 comma 1, and the same as zero order parametric continuity we have. For that r of 0 equals to 0 square plus 0 plus 1 and 0 plus 1, and that is equals to 1 comma 1 here, and hence they both are continuous here. The other question has been arised here, that is the next question of application based question, and that we have here that the Z buffer algorithm allow 128 depth value levels to be used, and how much would be a 512 cross 512 pixel display required to store Z buffer if the scene consists of 14 objects. That has been the question here, and that we'll talk about in the next class, and then after that we'll continue and we'll complete at least this unit 4, and then of course we'll start some of the questions that we have to deal with it, and that after that we'll start with another one. And so here first of all a huge request from my side to all the viewers here, that those who had gone through with that and those who had not visited, so please it's a huge request from my side to all the viewers, please go through with the subscribe button, and please like, share and subscribe our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even you can also enjoy the video as well. You will be getting all the videos which we are uploading till the date through the playlist. You can go through with that as well. And in the same cases, if I'm talking about in reference towards it, that we are dealing, other than the computer graphics, we are dealing with managerial economics, and we are dealing with the reasoning as well. And in the terms of the reasoning, that we had completed the verbal reasoning, and we are dealing with a non-verbal reasoning as well. So you can go through with that, and you will find it out this as well. And we are starting with we had started, even though that the non-verbal reasoning, the first topic, which is your that is in the terms of series, and we are dealing with more than 1,000 questions with this, and we'll surely start with quantitative aptitude, and we are dealing with the database and management system as well. In terms of the computer graphics, if I'm talking about here, that the computer graphics, we are dealing with the unit 1, which is your graphics devices, and that is we had completed the introduction and line generation, types of computer graphics, graphic display, random scan display, raster scan display, framework for video controller, points and lines, line drawing algorithm, circle generating algorithm, midpoint circle generating algorithm, and a parallel versions of these algorithm as well. In unit 2, we are dealing with, we had completed the transformation, that the name of the unit, and we had completed the menu of the topic, which is your transformation, basic transformation, matrix representation, and the homogeneous coordinate, composite transformation, reflection and shading, windowing and clipping, viewing pipeline, viewing transformation, 2D clipping algorithm, line clipping algorithm such as Cohen-Sutherland line clipping algorithm, Liang-Barsky algorithm, line clipping against non-rectangular clip, windowing, polygon clipping, Sutherland Hodgman polygon clipping, Wheeler and Atherton polygon clipping, and of course the curve clipping and the text clipping as well. Then other than we'll do it here, the unit 3rd we have to start with, and we had completed, even though that is your 3-dimensional where we had completed the three-dimensional 3D geometric primitives and 3D object representation, 3D transformation, 3D viewing, projection, 3D clipping as well. In the same cases, we had completed unit 4, which is your curves and surfaces, that is your curves and surfaces, quadratic surfaces, spheres, ellipsoid, blobby objects, introductory concept of spline, B-spline, Beziers curves and surfaces, hidden lines and surfaces, direct phase detection algorithm, depth buffer method, A buffer method, scanline method, basic elimination models, ambient light, diffuse reflection, specular reflections, and a Phong model, combined approach, Bond model, intensity attenuation, color concentration, transparency, and the shadow as well, that we had completed. And now we are dealing with very short answer type questions, where we had completed the unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, and we are dealing with unit 4, and hopefully in the next coming class we'll completed the unit 4 as well, the very short questions of all the short of 2 marks possible questions, and then we'll deal with some of the question paper as well. So in the same cases that what we had talked about it, and in that same cases you can also go through with that the playlist, as I told you about. You will be finding out each and every questions there. And if we'll talk about the evaluation based questions here, and that is that we are dealing with application based questions. So let's we can go through with the first questions as well, that as a buffer algorithm, but we'll do it in the next coming class. So thank you, hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give a suggestion on a comment box. Thank you. Please like, share and subscribe our channel, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. Thank you, hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give a suggestion on a comment box. Thank you.